Conversations about President Cyril Ramaphosa's most recent selections have been rife in South Africa in recent weeks, especially with regard to one important cabinet post that has come under intense scrutiny. Before we continue, please kindly subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell so as to get all our updates. The president's decision-making process has left observers wondering about its caliber and thoughtfulness, which raises questions about the wider ramifications for governance and public trust in the executive branch. The fundamental cause of this problem is the seeming absence of thorough assessment and strategic planning in the appointment of people to important positions. Many had anticipated that the selection would represent the urgent needs and difficulties facing the country, but instead it has been greeted with suspicion. According to analysts, the fact that such a significant decision was taken with little thought may indicate a concerning trend in Ramaphosa's administration, one that may put expediency ahead of competence. This appointment has consequences that go beyond optics in politics. Any administration's legitimacy is based on the quality of its appointments as much as its policies. A government that does not show that it is dedicated to making excellent decisions about leadership runs the danger of alienating citizens who rely on their leaders to be honest and wise. The stakes are especially high in a country dealing with structural problems like social injustice, economic instability, and corruption. Moreover, this occurrence calls into serious doubt the president's strategic outlook. Do these selections represent a reactive governance approach as opposed to a proactive one? Opponents contend that a leader has to foresee difficulties and assign capable people who can handle the intricacies of their particular portfolios in addition to responding to emergencies. This case's apparent lack of forethought may make it more difficult for the government to successfully handle pressing national issues. In addition, the hiring procedure ought to demonstrate a dedication to inclusiveness and diversity, guaranteeing that different viewpoints are represented at the highest echelons of decision-making. If these elements are overlooked, the leadership group may be ill-prepared to promote harmony and address the complex problems that South Africa is now confronting. It is essential that President Ramaphosa reconsider how he handles nominations as the country develops. In addition to improving governance, a dedication to openness, careful screening, and a distinct strategic plan can boost public trust in the president. Future appointees are supposed to demonstrate a thorough comprehension of the issues at hand, as well as a commitment to representing the interests of all South Africans. By doing this, Ramaphosa will have the chance to uphold his leadership and improve the nation's governance standards. Once more, Nathi Sithole, a well-known political analyst and backer of MK, Umkhonto we Sizwe, recently offered a negative viewpoint on former President Jacob Zuma's revolutionary plan. Sithole argues that in spite of Zuma's lofty goals, South Africa is still unprepared for the significant transformations that were intended to occur under his presidency. The plan put out by former South African President Jacob Zuma, who held office from 2009 to 2018, was intended to alleviate the widespread social and economic disparities. The National Development Plan, NDP, which aimed to rebuild infrastructure, improve healthcare, and improve educational performance, was one of the major projects initiated during his government. Sithole claims that while Zuma had an ambitious plan, South Africans' lack of preparation eventually caused it to fail. According to Sithole, there was insufficient provision of the structural and social conditions required for meaningful change. Sithole said in an interview that Zuma has a well-defined strategy for South Africa. Still, there was always doubt about the nation's preparedness for such a significant transformation. The political and social environment did not correspond with the magnitude of change that was needed. Sithole highlights that a number of issues, including as pervasive corruption, recurrent political unrest, and uneven policy implementation, undercut Zuma's attempts. The period's political unrest, which included public disenchantment and internal party strife, had a significant negative influence on Zuma's program's execution. Cost considerations were also quite important. Slow growth and high unemployment rates characterized South Africa's economic performance under Zuma, which made it difficult for the government to adequately fund and maintain its radical initiatives. Sithole notes that Zuma's administration's problems were made worse by these economic issues. The public's reaction to Zuma's policies served as another evidence of the gap between